Congratulations. You didn't hear and the new, but that was the first time you've defended that title, won that title here in the ring. What did it take to pull out this win?
Listen, I'm a champion at the end of the day. I came here to do what I was supposed to do, and I got the win tonight.
We're hearing Eddie's told us that it sounds like you're moving up to 140. Is that true? And is there anybody you want in that division?
I would like the winner of Teo and Shakur next week. I'd love the winner of that.
If Shakur's going to drop back down to 35, can you make that fight happen at 35? Or does it have to happen at 40?
We'll make that happen too. Whoever wins, whatever weight they want to fight at, I'm there.
Most fighters are happy just to survive against a generational talent. They take their check, offer a respectful nod, and go back to the drawing board. But Raymond Muratalla didn't just survive the hype of Andy Cruz, he dismantled it, buried it, and then immediately looked past the wreckage to hunt down the biggest names in the sport. The moment the final bell rang, the narrative shifted instantly. This wasn't about an Olympic gold medalist having an off night. This was about a new king crowning himself in the most disrespectful way possible. And if you think the fight was the only shock, wait until you hear who he called out next.
Raymond Muratalla beats Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz just didn't have it in the championship rounds. He got tired. But yo, I had a 114, but if you give it to anybody, you give it to Muratalla. There was a judge that had it 118, 110. That judge is drunk. That judge was on the moonshine. Hey, yo, it almost reminded me of the Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G. That shit is crazy, bro. But if they would have given it to anybody, I had it a draw, but they wouldn't have given it to anybody, it would have been Muratalla. Andy Cruz in the championship round just didn't have it. Didn't have the experience in the championship rounds. You could see he was tired. You could see he had no legs. His punches wasn't straight no more. I mean, the winner, Muratalla, I know a lot of people wanted to see the potential Andy Cruz and a Keyshawn Davis and the potential, hey, but Muratalla did his thing. He came in the clutch. Congratulations, Muratalla.
Let's address the elephant in the room immediately. That scorecard. As soon as the numbers 118 to 110 were read aloud, the internet exploded. Forums lit up with accusations of a robbery, claiming the fight was much closer than the judges admitted. But if you look at Muratalla's face during the post-fight presser, you don't see a man who feels lucky. You see a man who feels validated. He shut down the robbery talk with a single cold sentence. I won 100%.
Scorecards.
I got no clue. I didn't even hear the scorecard. I knew I won 100%.
I had a draw.
Definitely not a draw. There was no draw on it. I won 100%.
While fans argued over jabs and footwork, Muratalla was playing a different game. He wasn't there to outpoint an amateur legend. He was there to hurt a professional fighter. The controversy stems from a classic clash of styles. The flashy, elusive amateur pedigree versus the grinding, damaging pressure of a true pro. Muratalla forced his game plan so effectively that even the judges had to ignore the hype and score the damage. He fought a Virgil-like fight, walking through the fire to prove that pretty boxing doesn't always win fights. Violence does.
Josie, what did you think of this fight, Andy Cruz against Muratalla?
I thought it was a great fight, man.
Yeah.
Between them two, it was a good fight, man. You know what I mean? But I ain't like that scorecard. 118 with that shit, nah. I ain't like that.
Yeah, that was pretty wide. I mean, obviously the 114 scorecard existed. Did you feel like it was that close of a fight?
I was looking at Andy. Andy was hitting the cleaner shots to me. You know what I mean? You know? And I was just all of us telling Andy, pressing and keep pressing him back. And, you know, sometimes Andy would lay.
Yeah.
But see, with Muratalla, what he was doing, he was putting that pressure on. A lot of times he wasn't catching him, though. Andy was just blocking a lot, but sometimes wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
But it was a good fight, man. I can't say nothing about that.
Do you think they made a big deal about the fact that Andy had never gone this long. Was that an issue at all?
No. Andy was in shape, man. Andy was in shape. You know what I mean? You know, I don't, and then they always talking about the experience. And he got a lot of experience. He got the national experience. Cuba, all them fighters that he fought in the Olympics and Pan Am Games and all that, they experience. So when you turn pro, all you do is sign a paper. You can come off the street, sign a paper and turn pro. So
where do you guys go from here?
Oh, got to ask Eddie and them. I don't know what they're going to do. They left out that way? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Thank you, both.
The most damaging blows Muratalla landed weren't even thrown in the ring. They were delivered on the microphone. Usually winners praise their opponents to make their own victory look better. Muratalla went the opposite direction. He brutally exposed the reality of Andy Cruz's standing in the lightweight division. He didn't just call him inexperienced, he called him weak. Definitely too small for 135, was the verdict.
Andy Cruz was a slick boxer. Your game plan seemed to be pressure, pressure, and more pressure. What were you going through in the ring?
Like you said, I was just putting pressure. I know he wasn't going to be able to handle it. And taking them deep waters, 12 rounds, he wasn't able to handle it.
What do you think was working for you throughout the course of this fight?
Just the pressure, the smart pressure. I wasn't falling into his traps, and I was picking apart, breaking them down round by round.
When he was setting those traps, what do you think he was looking to do in these exchanges?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
What do you think he was looking to do in these exchanges?
I don't know what he was planning to do. He was trying to counter me, but I wasn't allowing that.
You've been a guy that at 135 pounds have been undefeated for some time, but you've been overlooked in some ways for other fighters. What do you think you proved tonight?
That I'm a champion. I deserve to be here. I worked my ass off to get here, and it's showing.
When you prepared for this fight, a lot of people made Andy Cruz an early favorite. A lot of people looked at this as maybe just the coronation of a former Olympic gold medalist. What did that motivate you during this fight?
That didn't matter to me. I don't care what his background was, who he was, where he's from. It didn't matter to me. I was in that gym working hard, here to win, and I did that.
You've got that belt around your shoulder. What do you want to do with it next?
I want to fight the biggest fights. I would like the winner of the 140, Shakur and Teo.
Congratulations, Raymond.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Muratalla admitted he looked in the mirror after the fight and was surprised to see marks on his face because, in his own words, he didn't feel it. That is a devastating critique for a fighter like Cruz. It draws a direct parallel to the infamous night Orlando Salido welcomed Vasyl Lomachenko to the pros. It's the classic case of too much too soon. Muratalla believes Cruz was rushed, thrown into the deep end before he learned how to swim with sharks. He didn't just beat the man, he shattered the aura of invincibility that surrounds Olympic royalty, proving that skills mean nothing if you can't hurt the man standing in front of you.
I did enough to get the win easy.
Ray, how much?
Congratulations. Did you feel like you fought the fight of your life tonight?
I did what I knew I was going to do. We know he was going to be tough. He's a good boxer. Yeah, I know I was going to have to fight that fight. And I did.
How'd you, I guess, did it surprise you how the fight turned out in terms of like him reacting to you and your game plan, your size, your volume?
I kind of know he was going to fight the way he fought. I was prepared for whatever way he wanted to fight me. But yeah, when it was in more round, we prepared and got the win.
Was there anything that you weren't expecting from him?
Now we expect everyone to know he was a good boxer. He's an Olympic gold medalist. We know he was going to come fight, and yeah, I did what I had to do.
You know, there's some parallels I've heard from people saying that this was kind of like when Loma tried to fight Salido and it was like too soon. Like, did you feel like this was too soon for Andy to go up against like someone like you?
Absolutely, it was way too soon for him. You guys seen that tonight.
Ray, do you take pride in, there was a lot of talk about his skill, but that you beat him across the board, not just as the bigger puncher, but as the more skilled fighter as well?
Yeah, just goes to show I got just as much skills, if not more. We know he's a Olympic gold medalist, and I'm not, and I got the skills tonight.
You know, we're hearing...
With the boogeyman Cruz now in his rearview mirror, Muratalla didn't waste a second. He looked straight into the camera and demanded the winner of the upcoming super fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. This isn't the typical, I'll fight anyone cliché. This is a calculated move. Muratalla knows his stock has never been higher, and he is trying to hijack the momentum of one of the year's biggest pay-per-views.
You know, we're hearing Eddie's told us that it sounds like you're moving up to 140. Is that true? And is there anybody you want in that division?
I would like the winner of Teo and Shakur next week. I'd love the winner of that.
If Shakur is going to drop back down to 35, can you make that fight happen at 35? Or does it have to happen at 40?
We'll make that happen too. Whoever wins, whatever weight they want to fight at, I'm there.
Would you be willing to go to New York City to watch that fight and call out either one next week?
I'm calling them out now. I gotta go out there, I'm telling you right now.
What is that? You know, obviously you just got done winning this fight, but what do you think that fight would look like in the ring? You and Shakur, if he's the one who wins, and I guess Teofimo too, if he's the one that wins.
Yeah, I mean, both those fights are great fights. I think boxing would love that. And that's that. I think it'll be a tremendous fight with either one of them.
What makes this call-out even more dangerous is his willingness to move. He explicitly stated he doesn't care about the weight class. 135 pounds, 140 pounds, it doesn't matter. Whoever wins, whatever weight they want to fight at, I'm there. That is the mindset of a fighter who isn't protecting a record but is chasing a legacy. And in a move that screams confidence, he flat out refused to travel to New York to watch their fight ringside. He's not a fanboy waiting for an autograph. He's a rival waiting for a contract. He's calling them out from his turf, on his terms. You might think a superstar like Shakur Stevenson would brush off a challenge from a rising contender, but the reaction was immediate. Shakur was watching live, and when the idea of fighting Muratalla was floated, his response was a simple, enthusiastic,
My walk, I came from 126. I don't know how people don't realize this. Like, I'm naturally little. There's a billion lightweights in the world that's way bigger than me. That's facts. And I'm fighting at 135 pounds. So it's like, it don't make sense.
Yeah, that's 2 weight classes up, yeah.
But I don't care. Like, I'm so skillful to where it's like, my real problem is I dare to be great. So I don't have no cares in the world to where it's like, I may be talking into doing something crazy. Like, I can be sometimes to where it's like, I'll take the risk. Like, I believe in myself wholeheartedly against all of these fighters. So I may even be talking into doing something. I try to refrain from that. So 9 times out of 10, I let my team take control of what's best for me. But I'm kind of crazy. I'm a real fighter at the end of the day, so.
Shakur has confirmed that if he handles business against Teofimo, and if the big money fights at 140 don't materialize, he is coming back down to lightweight. And who is at the top of his list? Raymond Muratalla. Even Eddie Hearn, the promoter who backed Cruz, had to swallow his pride and admit that Muratalla proved he is world championship caliber.
I thought the right man won. I thought it was a very, very close fight. You know, I had a bit of an argument with the Cubans, because they thought, if we got the decision, I don't think it would have been a bad decision, but hand on heart, thought we lost the last round to probably lose the fight. 7-5 is how I scored it. 8-4, I think I thought 118, 110's a disgrace. Like, I don't see how you can, well, because it's so wide.
A lot of people thought it was clearly Ray.
If you know boxing, you can't possibly score. Like, if you watch the fight, you can't just have a guy coming forward, throwing shots, landing on the gloves and around the back and just scoring all the time. But sometimes in a close round, it was the output of Raymond Muratalla that in my opinion, won in the fight. Andy won, I thought he won 5 rounds, but, it wasn't enough. But probably needed to do a little bit more in terms of output. But, the danger going into this fight was a little bit of experience. And Bozy said that he doesn't think he was, he feels like he had as much experience as Muratalla, but in those professional fights, 23 of them, I thought Muratalla was really impressive tonight. I thought the game plan from Robert Garcia was very good. He looked really strong, like he looked like a big 130, which he is. And Andy's probably, I think he may move to 130 because he makes the weight very, very easily. And when you're up against a big, strong 135 pounder, sometimes that pressure can.
Opposing promoter and the division's top dog both acknowledge you on the same night, you've done something right. The risk versus reward ratio has finally tipped in Muratalla's favor.
I expected it to be like a real competitive fight, like a back and forth kind of fight. Andy had his moments where he was being slippery, counter punching and, landing some good combos. And then Muratalla, he used like a lot of smart pressure. He took his time, engaging to Andy, fighting him in the pocket. And he threw body shots. And he stayed on you. He stayed on Andy. He made his job. He made Andy uncomfortable. He did a real good job making Andy uncomfortable. Now letting Andy catch a rhythm and get his timing going. And there was moments where Andy took off. There was times where Andy kind of took off and was gaining momentum and a rhythm. But then Muratalla would bring it back down and take control again and stuff like that. So it was a real competitive fight, man. I was on
almost cinematic detail from fight night that many people missed. Before the first bell even rang, Keyshawn Davis walked into Raymond Muratalla's dressing room. On the surface, it was a gesture of sportsmanship, a quick, good luck. But in the high-stakes world of boxing, nothing is that simple. Was it respect, or was it a scouting mission?
Yeah, can't get his ass. Let me get some of that shit, Keith. Hold on. Cause what are you doing over here? I'm the North. I'm around here. This is not that amateur shit. I'm around here playing. What are you talking about? Then they say, hell no.
Muratalla admitted he wasn't expecting the visit, but it didn't shake him. This plays perfectly into his insane empire mindset. He doesn't care about the politics, the friendships, or the mind games. He described his focus as total and absolute. He didn't care who Cruz was, where he was from, or who was in his corner. That level of mental fortitude is rare. When a potential future rival walks into your safe space before the biggest fight of your life, and you don't even blink, it shows a level of psychological hardening that makes a champion dangerous. Keyshawn might have been looking for weakness, but he likely only found ice.
Anyway, speaking of Shakur Stevenson, he called out the winner of Shakur Teo after this fight. He expects Shakur to win that fight. I know that from quotes from him earlier this week. And he said if Shakur was down to do that fight, he would fight him at 140 pounds or he'd stay at 135. But Eddie Hearn told us after the fight he's headed to 140. His dad was calling out Dalton Smith to Eddie Hearn. So it sounds like he wants to go to 140. But if Shakur wins against Teo, as Shakur has indicated more so that he'd go back to lightweight, then he's down to do that fight in a unification at 135. Raymond Muratalla is a quality champion. He definitely proved that tonight. Now, is he elite? Let's see him against a Shakur, a Teo, a Keyshawn, or you know, Dalton Smith. And not that Dalton Smith is proven to be elite. And honestly, those three guys I named outside of Teo still kind of have to prove they're elite at the elite level. You know, Teo being the most accomplished out of the three of them. Shakur is the favorite, but so is Andy Cruz tonight. So anyway.
So where does this leave the lightweight division? For years, the top guys have circled each other, protecting their zero and waiting for the perfect payday. Raymond Muratalla just threw a wrench in that entire machine. He took the fight nobody wanted, the high-risk, low-reward clash with a Cuban prodigy, and he made it look like a statement performance. He has proven he has the chin to walk through fire, the power to bruise an Olympian, and the audacity to call out the pound-for-pound greats immediately after. The question is no longer, is Raymond Muratalla ready for the elite? The question is, are the elite ready for him? He has cleared out the most dangerous prospect in boxing, and now he's standing at the gate of the kings, waiting for someone to open the door. And judging by his performance tonight, he might just kick it down. But what do you think of Muratalla's victory? Do you think he's ready to fight the big names in the division? Are you ready to see Raymond Muratalla face off against the winner of Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez later this year? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Stay tuned, and we will catch up with you in the next video.